Welcome to the Narcissism Unmasked channel, where we will reveal to you truths you may not have known about the world of narcissists. Here, you will find everything to help you understand how to deal with narcissists, avoid their negative impacts, and we will also provide you with support and hope to regain your life and self-confidence. Don't forget to support us with likes, comments, and shares to spread awareness and help more people break free from the hell of narcissism. Let's get started. The hardest thing in life is being involved in a relationship with a narcissistic person. Life becomes exactly like hell, and you fall into the trap of the narcissistic abuse cycle, which seems impossible to escape from. The narcissist diminishes your value, manipulates you, and isolates you from the rest of the world. Unfortunately, this is not even the beginning, because the truth is that manipulation can take various forms. However, if you have truly dealt with a narcissistic person, you will understand exactly what I mean. In this episode, I will tell you that there is hope, and a great hope, that you can get rid of such a toxic relationship. I will tell you everything about narcissistic abuse and how you can escape from it, as well as how you can fully recover from it. First, we need to know what narcissistic abuse is. Narcissistic abuse is any form of abuse committed by a person with narcissistic personality disorder. It's important to understand that abuse isn't just physical violence. It can also be emotional or verbal abuse that harms the victim as much as physical violence, if not more. So, what are the symptoms of narcissistic abuse? The most difficult thing, everyone, is that you can know that you are actually being subjected to narcissistic abuse because the victim is not sure if what is happening to him is real or if it could be just imagination or exaggeration. For this reason, I wanted to gather all the symptoms of narcissistic abuse and explain them in detail, and I promise you that after you listen to this episode, you will be able to recognize the narcissistic person from the first time you meet them. The first thing, everyone, is emotional blackmail. Emotional blackmail occurs when a person uses your emotions against you. It's a form of manipulation that a narcissistic person constantly uses against their victim. The narcissist knows you very well and knows that your emotions are your weak point. That's why, when you try to leave the narcissist, they may resort to threatening to harm themselves or to harm you in other ways. This is just a simple example of the many types of emotional blackmail. Another form of emotional blackmail is when the narcissist reacts very negatively to anything you do or choose. For example, if you do something they don't like, they might pretend to be the victim and threaten to leave you, or pretend to be depressed because of what you did, just to make you feel regret. Another tactic is gaslighting or undermining. This is one of the most important tactics used by narcissists to harm you psychologically by playing with your perception and trying to change your thoughts and views on things. They make you doubt your thoughts and what you see happening around you, which makes you lose confidence in your mind and perception. This makes you feel like you're going crazy, and this is experienced by all victims of narcissistic abuse. In this type of abuse, the narcissist lies to you, deceives you, and distorts the truth you are sure of. This happens a lot when there is a specific situation and there is evidence supporting what happened, but when you confront the narcissist with this evidence, they undermine it and pretend that what happened is completely different from what you say. The worst thing about this is that the narcissist is so confident to the point that you feel abnormal or crazy because of their unwavering confidence. They speak with such conviction that you feel like you might believe their unreal words. And it's possible for this abuse to happen when, for example, you are subjected to physical assault or any hurtful act by the narcissist. And after a certain period, the narcissist completely denies what happened and denies everything they did to you, whether it was an insult or anything that caused you harm. Sometimes, the situation escalates because the narcissist accuses you of being in a certain place when you were never there, or claims that you've never been there before. The third form of abuse is devaluation. It's crucial to understand that the narcissist lacks security towards anyone and has a low self-respect at the same time. They are well aware of your value, your superiority, and your qualities that they chose you as a victim for. That's why the narcissist's goal is to lower your value and constantly humiliate you by all means. Due to this, the narcissist will do the impossible to destroy your mind. This is the only way they will feel superior and manipulate you in every possible way. The narcissist will never give up finding a way to get into your mind to convince you that you have no value or that you are not important, even to yourself. While everyone else respects and appreciates you and compliments you for your kindness, the narcissist invents stories about these people, claiming that they talk about you behind your back or criticize your flaws. Although the narcissist uses different methods of abuse, they all lead to one result. Because the narcissist wants to give you the impression that they are the only one you can trust, and when they achieve that, they can control you as they please, making you do everything they want. The next form of abuse is treating you with extreme selfishness. In an emotional relationship with a narcissistic person, you will find that everything revolves around them, even though they try not to show it at first. However, later on, you discover the extent of their selfishness. It's an undeniable fact that people with narcissistic personality disorder have an unusual amount of pride and are preoccupied only with themselves, not caring about anything else in the world. The narcissist doesn't know how to consider others' opinions at all, even though they can do so, but this behavior is a conscious choice from their side. They have a terrible sense of entitlement and believe they have the right to do whatever they want, while the concepts of justice or equality are non-existent in a narcissist dictionary. The narcissist doesn't behave as if they are superior to anyone else only, but they also constantly tell themselves this. At the same time, everything is actually the opposite because the narcissist deals with severe inner terror of weakness and lack of self-respect, which they try to cover up by belittling anyone they deal with. The next thing is lack of empathy. One of the reasons narcissists are highly attracted to empathetic people is their lack of empathy. In a narcissistic relationship, you'll find that the narcissistic person is not at all concerned about your feelings or any suffering you may experience. When the narcissist hurts you, they don't feel or even think about what you're feeling because of their actions, nor do they consider the consequences of their behavior on you. They are indifferent to what happens to you and your emotions. They only care about how a situation affects them. This is the height of selfishness in a narcissist. Another thing is love bombing or emotional flooding. If you ever felt guilty for loving a narcissistic person, you probably don't know the term that describes exactly what you're experiencing. Love bombing occurs when a person overwhelms you with love, care, and affection in the early stages of a relationship. You may have noticed this when you felt that you had finally found the person of your dreams. Someone who truly loves you, always talks to you about your future together and how your life will be with each other. In this stage, you may find yourself wondering if what you're experiencing is real, and if the feelings you're having are genuine due to the amount of attention and idealization you're receiving. This is what the narcissistic person does to attract their victim. They shower them with subtle compliments, expensive gifts, and romantic messages on all communication channels. In this stage, you start to feel your worth to the narcissist through the attention you receive from them. Once the narcissist feels that you have reached this point, their narcissistic abuse begins. Their behavior changes completely, and they start taking back all the love they gave you. At this point, you try your best to restore the relationship to what it used to be. This is what happens when you encounter such a relationship before you realize and confirm that it is actually a toxic relationship from the beginning, but it was hidden behind the mask of love. The narcissistic person can never show you their true self because they know deep down that they are worthless and unworthy of you. If you knew their truth, you would never agree to be with them. That's why the narcissist treats you from behind this mask to deceive you into thinking that they are a perfect person, not their true self. And this doesn't differ much when it comes from a parent, a colleague, a boss, a spouse, or a partner, because all relationships with a narcissistic person are based on lies and deceit. The problem with these people is that they lie to themselves, and when they face themselves, they are not honest with themselves, so it's impossible for them to be honest with you. The narcissist is born with a sense of self-worth through your reaction to them. That's why the narcissist always tries to convince you that they are something perfect, much more than what they really are. The biggest problem now is that the narcissist is a very skillful liar and can invent a whole fake and unreal life, and can even prove it and support it with their social media accounts, and can even bring you certificates and jobs they work in. Also, the narcissist has a fear of abandonment or being left, although this never justifies their abusive behavior. But the truth you must know is that the narcissist lies because they are convinced that no one will ever accept them for who they really are. After that, they play the role of the victim. No matter what form your romantic relationship takes, at some point, you may find yourself turning into a bad person. However, if you look at the situation more deeply, you'll find that the narcissist manipulates and intimidates you, mistreating you in every way. Despite this, in a certain way, the narcissist manages to turn the tables on you, making you appear as the bad and horrible one in all the conversations that happen between you. Even if the narcissist resorts to physical violence against you, he will blame you and may even cry, accusing you of provoking him. This leads you to feel responsible for everything between you, and you become the one at fault for everything wrong or unhealthy in your relationship. When this happens, you must consider that you are the one being subjected to physical, verbal, and emotional abuse in this relationship, and that you are a victim of narcissistic behavior, not the other way around. The next thing is that he isolates you socially. A healthy and normal relationship gives you space to be yourself, regardless of romance. But when dealing with a narcissist, he wants you entirely for himself. At the beginning of the relationship, you understand from this behavior that he loves you to the point where he doesn't want you away from him for even a minute. But beware, because unfortunately, this is another form of emotional abuse. It becomes clear that the narcissist wants to isolate you from your family, friends, and people who genuinely love you for one reason. It makes it very easy for him to manipulate you, because you won't find anyone to warn you like a friend or a family member if they notice that you are in a toxic relationship, if they notice the abusive way the narcissist is treating you. All the narcissist wants is to ensure that no one will help you or try to open your eyes to the reality of what is happening to you. The narcissist knows this very well, and that's why he does his best to make sure you cut off contact with anyone else. He does this by trying to distract you with anything that will make you not think or find time to contact these people. Then the narcissist starts playing with your mind and planting doubts in you about these people. For example, that no one knows your interests other than him, or that your friends have changed towards you and want to ruin your life, or that your father or mother loves one of your siblings more than you. So you shouldn't accept any advice from them regarding your relationship with the narcissist. Unfortunately, this makes you end up avoiding these people, even the closest ones to you. And if that doesn't work with you, the narcissist will try to make you feel jealous and emotionally blackmail you so that you don't spend time with anyone else but him. You know, everyone, that one of the most important traits of narcissists is the feeling of greatness and the constant need for admiration, as well as the lack of empathy, in addition to some dangerous traits that can lead to suicide or suicide attempts. And not all narcissists are exactly the same. However, there is a certain pattern in their behavior that they follow when they find a new victim, and this pattern is called the narcissistic abuse cycle. I will tell you about the stages of the narcissistic abuse cycle. The first stage is the idealization stage. At first, the narcissist considers his victim a completely perfect and ideal person, and he refuses to notice any flaws in her. He doesn't treat the victim as a normal person. After this idealization, the journey of love bombing or emotional drowning begins, and it continues. The narcissist convinces the victim that they are soulmates and must live together forever. What the narcissist creates is not ordinary love, but something very rare that never happens in their life except in this stage. Unfortunately, the purpose of this stage is to make the victim live in a state of emotional dependency, while the narcissist exerts control and dominance over them. The next stage is devaluation. In healthy and normal relationships, things don't change much after the love bombing stage, and most couples continue to love and respect each other. However, in a narcissistic relationship, the victim begins to see the forms of narcissistic abuse that reveal the true nature of the person they are with for the first time. In this stage, the narcissist diminishes the value of the victim and destroys their self-respect and sense of worth. This is when insults, physical harm, and all forms of manipulation begin. The next stage after this is the rejection or abandonment stage. Once the narcissist gets all their needs met, they realize they can destroy their victim. However, they never feel any remorse or guilt for their actions due to their lack of empathy. What happens is that the narcissist completely ignores their victim and distances themselves after they have fulfilled their purpose. At this point, the narcissist is ready to enter into a new relationship with a new victim. So, how can we recover from narcissistic abuse? You can definitely emerge from narcissistic abuse stronger by following some tips, starting with emotional detachment. Emotional detachment is crucial before leaving a narcissistic person. What does this mean? It's known that leaving a relationship is not easy in most cases. And when you want to leave a relationship, you need to have steps or a way to separate or leave the relationship. Also, you need someone to support you in this phase, like a therapist or psychologist, or anyone who can support you and stand by you during this time. The most important thing to do to emotionally detach from the narcissist is to minimize your communication with them. Even if you have to talk to the narcissist, try to keep it to a minimum and avoid arguments altogether. Also, make sure the narcissist doesn't know that you intend to leave the relationship. The most important thing in this stage is that you are convinced and determined to leave the relationship. You have understood their tactics and can avoid falling into their trap again. Also, do not fall into the trap of false promises from the narcissist and completely erase from your mind the idea that things can change for the better. The next step is to cut off contact. After leaving the narcissist, they will do everything they can to get you back into the relationship, even trying to convince you to remain friends. During this stage, the narcissist may deceive you and drown you again in emotions, love, and care, making you believe they have changed. You must know that this is a trap the narcissist has set for you to regain control over you. The narcissist will never change. The whole point is for you to return so they can return to their manipulative and abusive ways, but when they feel they have control over you again. All you need to do is cut off all contact completely and block all of their accounts on social media. Also, do not speak to anyone who might be in contact with a narcissist so that you don't receive any information about them at all, and stop appearing in any place where they might be present. The next important thing is the support system. Your support system is a group of friends, acquaintances, or family members who love you and who can support you in this stage and stand by you. Without this support, getting rid of narcissistic abuse will be very difficult. That's why you should try to turn to anyone you can trust and who the narcissist may have caused you to distance yourself from or cut ties with. But trust me, they understand the suffering you've been through and will never abandon you when you need them. Contact them immediately and tell them directly that you need them and need them to stand by you, and they will certainly do everything they can to help you. If there is no one you can turn to, try to request this from any psychologist or therapist, and keep in mind that this support is essential to help you end the toxic relationship you are in. And most importantly, from all that we've said, many victims forget to learn how to love themselves again. This is because your main focus is on wanting to exit the relationship in any way. You must be convinced that you deserve better treatment and a better life, and you must know your self-worth very well. And with that, we've reached the end of today's video. I hope you found the information we provided about narcissism and how to deal with it useful. If you have any experiences or questions, please share them in the comments so we can all learn from each other. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel Narcissism Unmasked and activate the notification bell so you don't miss any new videos. If you like the video, support me with a like and share it with your friends to spread awareness and help more people. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.